How much you want for all this?
I would be happy to give it to you.
He's struggling.
I mean, you look like you're gonna throw up right now. You got a bucket? I thought for sure he was gonna puke.
The on-screen drama and high-stakes deals of Hardcore Pawn kept viewers hooked. But behind the cameras, not every story ended happily. Over the years, some fan-favorite cast members have tragically passed away. Others were caught in scandal, and a few chose to walk away, leaving fans shocked, and the shop forever changed. Who lived? Who left? And who's no longer with us? Join us as we reveal 10 unforgettable members whose lives or time on the show ended far too soon. Number 10. Carlos Carl Deals. The reality television and pawn community experienced a shocking loss with the sudden death of Carlos Deals, a familiar face from the true TV show Hardcore Pawn Chicago. Carlos, known for his strong presence on the show and his long-standing role at Royal Pawn Shop in the Loop, suddenly passed away at the age of 48. His unexpected death stunned everyone, especially since he had recently appeared healthy and active. According to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, Carlos was pronounced dead at 4:10 p.m. at their facility. He was found unresponsive earlier that morning at his home on the 700 block of East 100th Place in Chicago by his family members, who contacted authorities at around 10:30 a.m. Chicago police responded and began a death investigation. Officials noted that there were no visible signs of trauma, and an autopsy was scheduled for Tuesday to determine the cause of death. The lack of immediate answers made his death a mystery. Just 2 days before his death, he had worked a full Saturday shift at Royal Pawn Shop. Those around him said he appeared energetic and in good spirits, making the news even more surprising to those who interacted with him regularly. His consistent presence and dedicated work ethic had made him a reliable part of the business for more than a decade, helping shape its daily operations and public image during its time on television. Carlos originally joined Royal Pawn Shop after working security at a neighboring hotel. His transition into the pawn business came when co-owner Randy Cohen offered him a position, recognizing his dependable nature and strong character. Over the years, Deals became a trusted employee and a valued figure within the shop. His calm attitude, steady professionalism, and supportive personality earned him respect from both coworkers and customers. The mystery surrounding his death made it hard for loved ones to move on, and his presence was greatly missed on the show. Up next is an individual whose betrayal shocked fans and coworkers equally. Number 9. Brian Robo Jackson. When Hardcore Pawn first premiered, Robo was introduced as American Jewelry and Loan's original head of security. He was an imposing figure with a tough exterior and a no-nonsense attitude whose presence wasn't just for the show. His role was clear: maintain order in a pawn shop where tempers often flared, which made sense because Robo looked and acted like someone who could physically intervene when things threatened to spiral. One of Robo's most memorable moments was in the very first season, during a heated confrontation over a pawned television. A furious customer began shouting, demanding more money, and eventually attempted to climb over the counter. Before the situation could escalate further, Robo intervened forcefully. He grabbed the man by the shoulders, turned him around, and escorted him out of the store. Viewers responded with praise, calling him the Bouncer of Detroit. That moment made it seem like Robo would remain a pillar of security in the shop for years. However, Robo's tenure was short-lived. According to episode summaries and show documentation, he was removed after a bizarre and troubling on-set incident. In one early episode, Robo allegedly bit a fellow employee, a serious breach of workplace conduct. This behavior crossed a line that even a hardcore pawn shop couldn't tolerate. Although Robo was temporarily suspended and brought back for a few more episodes during the first season, he gradually faded from view. He appeared a couple more times in Season 1, but after that, he disappeared entirely. Production records show that he's not present in any later seasons. By season 2, his absence was clear. He was replaced by other security figures who stepped into his role without the same aggressive edge. Robo's aggressive approach may have served as a deterrent to rowdy customers, but it also made him a liability. Biting a colleague showed a lack of self-control that couldn't be managed within the shop's environment. The Gold family, focused on maintaining both order and a public image, likely felt that his risk outweighed his usefulness. While Robo left after getting involved in workplace violence, another member was dealing with a completely different issue. But in the end, their fate turned out surprisingly similar. Number 8. Christina. In Detroit, Christina was known as one of the employees who kept American Jewelry and Loan running efficiently. As a window clerk, she handled the paperwork and managed countless customer interactions. She wasn't involved in the dramatic confrontations or fiery arguments that made the Gold family famous on Hardcore Pawn, but her consistent, calm presence made her a familiar and reassuring figure for regular viewers. Her steady demeanor contributed to the smooth operation of the shop and balanced out the chaos often caused by customers and family alike. However, Christina's story took a shocking turn during Season 8. In a moment that left fans stunned, she was caught on camera committing theft. Footage showed her pocketing money during a routine transaction, instantly transforming her from a trusted employee into a criminal suspect under the unforgiving scrutiny of reality television. The incident was broadcast in real time, heightening the tension and making it one of the most memorable employee controversies in the show's history. The shop's management acted immediately. Les Gold, known for his strict no-tolerance policy when it came to dishonesty, confronted Christina directly. The situation escalated quickly, and the police were called to handle the matter. Christina was arrested on camera and escorted out of the store, creating one of the most dramatic firings in the series. Fans reacted with shock, expressing disbelief that someone who had appeared dependable could betray the trust of both the store and the audience. Her downfall highlighted a recurring theme on Hardcore Pawn. Even employees who seemed quiet, diligent, and unassuming could become embroiled in scandal. Christina was not loud, reckless, or confrontational, traits that often led to on-screen drama, which made her actions all the more surprising and disheartening to viewers. It served as a stark reminder that appearances could be deceiving, and that behind the calm exterior of some staff members, serious breaches of trust could occur. Christina's firing also emphasized the reality behind the reality show. While many cast members' exits were linked to dramatic confrontations or personal clashes, her termination was rooted in criminal behavior. This made it distinct from other departures, such as those who left due to odd or inappropriate conduct rather than theft. The contrast between her quiet reputation and sudden betrayal created a moment that fans still discuss when recalling shocking events from the show. Next up is someone who became a victim of false news. Who are they, and what challenges did they face along the way? Number 7. Seth Gold. In late 2021, a troubling rumor swept across social media claiming that Seth Gold, known to many as the heir to the pawn empire, had died in a car accident near Detroit. The story spread quickly, gaining thousands of shares and drawing emotional reactions from fans of the hit reality series Hardcore Pawn. Within hours, people were posting condolences and sharing memories of the show. But the rumor was completely false. Seth, then 40 years old, was very much alive and deeply involved in managing the daily operations of American Jewelry and Loan alongside his father. Seth Gold is part of a family that has shaped Detroit's pawn industry for generations. American Jewelry and Loan, established in 1978 by his father, became a landmark business long before reality television entered the picture. Growing up around the shop, Seth learned early how demanding the pawn world could be. After graduating from the University of Michigan, he strengthened his skills by earning a certification in gemstone grading from the Gemological Institute of America. With this background, he returned to the family business determined to modernize it. On Hardcore Pawn, viewers saw Seth as the calm, analytical negotiator who balanced the fiery personalities around him. Behind the scenes, he pushed for professional structure within the shop, bringing a more corporate approach to operations and marketing. This sometimes clashed with his father's traditional style, but it also helped the business expand. His efforts earned industry recognition, and he was named Pawnbroker of the Year by the National Pawnbrokers Association. He later secured a place on a major business publications list of top young professionals, a symbol of his influence beyond television. When the show ended its 9-season run, Seth kept moving forward. He helped introduce Fast Pawn, a digital platform that allowed customers to renew loans or make payments online, creating more convenience for the shop's large customer base. He also worked on community projects in Detroit, supporting programs that encouraged young entrepreneurs and strengthened local business development. His media presence continued to grow as he appeared on national talk shows and business platforms. He also co-launched the Gold Tone podcast with his father, giving listeners a deeper look into the pawn industry, personal finance, and the realities of working in a multi-generational business. The false death rumor of 2021, however, proved something larger than a simple misunderstanding. It showed how closely Seth's life is watched by both fans and critics. Years of public exposure, combined with the pressures of running one of the busiest pawn shops in the country, have placed him under constant scrutiny. Those who know him often speak about the heavy responsibility he carries, balancing fame with the demands of a high-stress business. Today, Seth Gold remains a central force at American Jewelry and Loan. His focus on innovation, customer service, and community involvement continues to shape the business his family built. Despite the rumors that once circulated online, Seth is very much alive. Seth's sister, however, had a completely different experience from Seth. Let's take a closer look. Number 6. Ashley Broad. Ashley Broad, the only daughter of Les and Lily Gold, became one of the most recognizable personalities on Hardcore Pawn. Born in 1978 in Michigan, she spent most of her early life inside American Jewelry and Loan, the Detroit pawn shop her family had operated since the late 1970s. Growing up in the business gave her a strong understanding of sales and customer behavior. It also shaped her straightforward personality, which later became a defining part of the show's appeal. When Hardcore Pawn premiered on True TV in 2010, Ashley was quickly thrust into the spotlight. She wasn't known for calm conversations or smooth negotiations. Instead, viewers saw a fierce, determined woman who matched the intensity of Detroit's busiest pawn counter. Her interactions often involved heated disputes with customers, sharp exchanges with staff, and especially frequent clashes with her brother Seth. The sibling rivalry became a major part of the show's identity, and it created moments that fans still talk about. Some viewers appreciated her bold presence and saw her as a strong female figure in a rough business. Others found her confrontational style overwhelming. But whether people admired her or criticized her, she kept audiences invested. By 2014, the tension that made the show entertaining began affecting more than on-screen drama. The arguments between Ashley and Seth appeared to bleed into real life, creating friction within the family. The emotional wear and tear became noticeable, and rumors grew that Ashley might be stepping away from both the business and the show. For longtime fans, the possibility felt like a major shift. The dynamic between the three Gold family members had always been the core of the series, and Ashley's presence gave it a strong emotional edge. Her eventual departure was never framed as a formal resignation, but her absence from the shop spoke for itself. She claimed that she left Hardcore Pawn to spend more time with her husband and children. In a local TV interview, she explained that the long hours and constant on-camera drama were wearing her down, and she was ready for a change. She admitted that the pawn shop routine had become monotonous. She'd wear the same black sweater, black tank top, jeans, and shoes every day. Over time, she realized she wasn't happy repeating the same pattern. Beyond the daily grind, Ashley also pointed to her health and family responsibilities as key reasons for stepping away. She revealed that being on the show and managing the store was taking a toll on her well-being, and she didn't want her family to suffer because of her workload. After leaving, she focused on her own goals, launching an online jewelry business, and later starting a podcast. Still, not everyone bought her explanation. Some critics believed her departure had less to do with family peace and more to do with ambition. One report noted that Ashley often acted as if she could run things better than her father, Les, or her brother, Seth. That sparked debate among fans. Was she leaving for balance, or was she distancing herself to build her own brand? Skeptics argued that her move wasn't entirely selfless. Instead of being satisfied with a long-standing family role, she appeared to be seeking full independence, stepping away from the business her family built from the ground up. To some viewers, this came off as cold, even for the competitive pawn shop world. Supporters, however, saw her choice as brave. Leaving a successful reality series and a secure, high-profile job at its peak to prioritize family, health, and personal happiness is no small decision. Her willingness to break away from a routine she'd followed since childhood inspired many people who watched her journey. After leaving American Jewelry and Loan, Ashley redirected her skills into new paths. She made appearances on Detroit media and explored her own ventures, choosing work that allowed her more independence and less conflict. Moving into her own lane gave her the chance to redefine her identity outside the shadow of the pawn industry. Though she stayed away from reality television, she continued building a professional life based on the same strengths she showed on screen: confidence, assertiveness, and business focus. Next on the list is another member who had a strong presence like Ashley, but her departure from the show remains a bit more mysterious. Number 5. Karen Mitchell. For fans of Hardcore Pawn, the spotlight was always on the Gold family, but the heart of the show came from their team of dedicated staff. Among the more memorable yet low-profile figures was Karen Mitchell, often seen working behind the counter at American Jewelry and Loan's flagship Detroit shop. Unlike the Golds, Karen never bombarded the camera with drama. She worked quietly but efficiently, managing parts of the jewelry department and helping customers navigate difficult deals. Her familiarity with both merchandise and clients proved her value to the business. In a show driven by high tension and fast money, she provided stability, a trusted face to return customers, and a backstage favorite for many viewers. However, after Season 6 of Hardcore Pawn, which aired in 2014, Karen suddenly vanished from the screen. She never appeared in later seasons, and the show offered no on-air explanation for her departure. Fans were left puzzled. Many speculated about layoffs or restructuring, since American Jewelry and Loan employed dozens of staff members during the show's run. According to the company itself, the shop had more than 45 employees handling day-to-day operations at its busy flagship location. Online, viewers theorized about the reasons for Karen's exit. Some argued she had been quietly let go during a cost-cutting phase. Others suggested her removal was staged to inflate the show's drama, especially given the conflicts and family feuds that already drove much of the on-air tension. In the absence of a formal statement, rumors ranged from voluntary departure to more serious personal issues, including speculation about illness or financial trouble. Despite these theories, there's no reliable public record confirming any scandal, health crisis, or legal trouble tied to her exit. In fact, multiple sources indicate that Karen chose to step away and focus on her own path. According to some reports, she maintained her professionalism and integrity until the end, blessing the show with her competence and returning to a life away from the camera. Her story captures a side of hardcore pawn that often gets overlooked: the employees who weren't family, but who were essential to making the pawn shop operate. They weren't just extras in a family soap. People like Karen played real important roles in the business and in the show's structure. Their absence after season 6 left a noticeable gap in the shop's daily rhythm, both on television and in viewers' memories. When Hardcore Pawn ended in 2015 after 9 seasons, many fans assumed the departure of background staff like Karen represented loss, not just of television personalities, but of trusted colleagues in a fast-paced, high-stakes business. While Karen's exit was handled silently, it remains part of the show's mysterious departure. Her exit is also similar to that of Rich Pyle, only that he saw it coming and might have had a hand in it. Number 4. Rich Pyle. Rich Pyle wasn't just another employee at American Jewelry and Loan. He quickly became a fan favorite and a stabilizing presence on Hardcore Pawn. Joining the show from its very first season in 2010, Rich worked as a floor manager, navigating the daily chaos of the busy Detroit pawn shop. With his long hair, easygoing personality, and quick wit, he became the bridge between the Gold family's frequent clashes. Viewers appreciated his calm demeanor and practical approach, which contrasted with the high-tension drama often unfolding on camera. Rich's on-screen presence made him relatable. He wasn't part of the family, yet he carried himself like he belonged, earning the trust of both staff and customers. Fans admired the way he handled difficult situations, de-escalated arguments, and maintained order amid the constant flurry of deals and disagreements. His approachable personality and sense of humor made him stand out, and audiences rooted for him through season after season. However, everything changed in 2012 during season 6. In one of the show's most shocking moments, Seth Gold fired Rich on camera after a heated disagreement about how the store should be run. The firing left fans stunned and heartbroken. Online forums exploded with reactions, describing it as the death of trust. For many viewers, Rich's dismissal felt personal. He had been a familiar, reliable presence, and someone audiences had grown attached to. His exit wasn't just a job loss. It was the sudden removal of a character they had emotionally invested in. After leaving American Jewelry and Loan, Rich tried to carve out a new path. He explored local Detroit projects and even launched a short-lived music venture, showing his creative side and willingness to reinvent himself. Despite his efforts, steady work in television eluded him, and the bright spotlight he once enjoyed quickly dimmed. His departure highlighted the harsh realities of reality TV, where fame can be fleeting and public favor can shift in an instant. His abrupt exit left a noticeable void in the dynamic of Hardcore Pawn, both for the audience and the remaining team. While he may no longer appear on screen, Rich's impact on the show's early seasons is still remembered by fans who appreciated his ability to keep the shop running smoothly amid constant chaos. Even years later, Rich remains a symbol of the relatable, steady presence that helped define Hardcore Pawn. His time on the show proved that sometimes the most beloved figures aren't the ones in the spotlight, but the ones quietly holding everything together behind the scenes. And this leads us to Lily Gold, the quiet presence that kept things running. Number 3. Lily Gold. Longtime fans of Hardcore Pawn know that while Les, Seth, and Ashley Gold were often front and center, the true heart of the family was Lily Gold. Married to Les since 1975, she helped build American Jewelry and Loan from its earliest days. When the pawn shop moved to its now famous Greenfield Road location in Detroit in 1993, Lily continued to serve as a quiet but essential driving force behind the business. Though she rarely spoke on camera, Lily's presence was keenly felt. Staff often described her as the calm in the storm, the steady hand who kept family dynamics in balance whenever tensions flared. As Les and his children clashed, she remained grounded, offering support and subtle guidance away from the spotlight. As Hardcore Pawn grew into a national hit, viewers began to notice Lily less and less. Around 2013, conversations started bubbling online about her health. By later seasons, she had nearly vanished from the show altogether, stirring speculation. Fans wondered if the decline in her appearances meant she was stepping back due to illness or burnout. Without any confirmation from the family, the mystery only deepened. Lily's gradual withdrawal felt more than just missing screen time. It felt like losing a stabilizing presence in the chaotic world of the pawn shop. For many, she represented a quieter kind of strength that balanced out Les's fiery personality. Her absence created a void, making what was once a tightly wound family business seem a little less grounded. Though she was never the loudest voice on Hardcore Pawn, Lily helped carry the legacy of American Jewelry and Loan. Behind the scenes, she handled administrative tasks, customer relationships, and the fragile balance of family and business. Her enduring role behind the scenes gave the Gold family both credibility and warmth. When the show ended in 2015 after 9 seasons, her absence remained one of the most commented on changes. Fans speculated endlessly about her health and role in the family business. Despite the rumors, no public announcements clarified why she faded from view. In quieter corners of the pawn shop's history, and in the minds of longtime viewers, Lily Gold lives on as the anchor that held the Gold family together. The most intriguing part is that her legacy isn't built on dramatic confrontations or memorable sound bites, but on years of loyalty, support, and steadfast presence. Even today, her impact quietly resonates through the reputation of American Jewelry and Loan, and in the memories of Hardcore Pawn fans who still remember her as the glue that kept one of TV's most chaotic families grounded. Unlike Leakey, the next person on the list was a familiar face whose gambling problems ended his promising career at Hardcore Pawn. Number 2. Carl Bell. Carl Bell was a familiar face on Hardcore Pawn. Chicago, working at Royal Pawn Shop, a branch of the pawn business featured in the spin-off series. On camera, he appeared dependable, handling merchandise confidently, interacting with customers, and providing a steady presence amid the chaos of a busy pawn shop. Fans came to see him as reliable, someone who bridged the gap between the shop's on-screen drama and everyday business. However, behind the scenes, Bell was struggling with a growing gambling problem. What began as recreational gambling escalated into a dangerous habit, creating financial pressure that eventually led him down a criminal path. Reports indicate that valuable items, including Rolex watches and fine jewelry, started disappearing from the shop's inventory, raising concerns among store owners. In 2014, Bell's actions culminated in a major legal incident. He and fellow employee Jeremy Jackson were arrested by Chicago police and charged with felony theft. They were accused of stealing merchandise from Royal Pawn Shop and repawning it to support Bell's gambling habit, with total stolen goods valued at more than $40,000. Legal documents outlined the serious nature of the charges, which under Illinois law could result in significant prison time given the value of the property involved. For the shop's owners, this was a deeply personal betrayal. Bell had been a trusted employee and on-screen personality, someone who had become part of the public face of the business. His arrest shook both the internal team and the fan base, altering the dynamic of the shop and casting a shadow over the show's reputation. Fans were equally stunned. Many had seen Bell as a relatable figure, a dependable presence amidst the Gold family's fiery arguments and chaotic deals. Online forums and media outlets documented the shock, noting how rare it is for reality TV pawnshop staff to commit crimes against their own employers. The arrest became one of the more serious real-world incidents tied to a reality television cast member. Following the legal proceedings, Bell disappeared from the series. Unlike some staff members who quietly left for personal reasons, his exit was the result of a documented criminal case, and he did not return to television in any major capacity. The consequences were tangible: a public fall from trust, a criminal record, and a tarnished reputation that contrasted sharply with the dependable image he had cultivated on screen. While viewers saw a composed, humorous employee handling the daily grind of a pawn shop, his off-camera life told a very different story. But how did Jeremy Jackson get wrapped up in this mess, too? Number 1. Jeremy Jackson. Jeremy Jackson worked at Royal Pawn Shop and appeared on Hardcore Pawn Chicago, a spin-off of the hit Detroit-based reality show. Though he wasn't one of the most prominent cast members, fans recognized him as part of the pawn shop's everyday rhythm. His calm presence and background work made him familiar and steady in the fast-paced shop environment. But behind that unassuming exterior, Jackson became embroiled in a criminal scandal. In 2014, he was arrested by Chicago police and charged with felony theft after investigators uncovered a scheme in which he and co-worker Carl Bell allegedly stole high-value items from the pawn shop where they worked. According to the store owners, Jackson, who worked part-time, pawned dozens of missing items back into the business, raising immediate red flags. The stolen merchandise was reportedly worth more than $40,000 and included luxury watches and jewelry. In legal filings, the theft was described as systematic. Jackson and Bell allegedly pawned the stolen goods to feed their gambling habits. Under Illinois law, theft at that scale qualified as a Class II felony, a serious charge that could carry several years in prison. For the owners of Royal Pawn, Jackson's arrest was a painful betrayal. The very person who had handled valuable merchandise and interacted with customers was accused of redirecting that inventory for personal gain. The case shattered trust in an industry where employee access to goods is inherently sensitive. The scandal drew widespread media coverage, forcing fans to reevaluate their perception of the show and its cast. Jackson's fall from grace was particularly striking because of his low profile on Hardcore Pawn Chicago. Unlike more dramatic cast members, he didn't command the camera. His value was in steady work and reliability, but that discretion made the scandal more jarring. Many viewers felt blindsided because he hadn't seemed like someone capable of such betrayal. After his arrest, Jackson disappeared from the show. There's little public information about his professional life since the charges were filed, and he did not return to the reality TV spotlight. The legal case became the defining moment of his hardcore pawn career, overshadowing any on-screen presence he once had. The combined arrests of Jackson and Bell were one of the most serious controversies related to the show. Their story showed a harsh reality. Reality TV's behind-the-scenes dynamics often include very real risks, and not all cast departures happen by choice. Which of these cast members' stories surprised you the most? And how do you think their departures, whether by tragedy, scandal, or choice, changed the dynamic at the pawn shop? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more.